Hi, it's Stacey Myers here from staceymyers.com, and in this video I'm going to take you through how to create quick and easy infographics for your blog posts. Infographics are just one of the ways that you can create visual content for your blog posts. In the description below, I've got a link that takes you to a PDF that gives you 16 other ways to add visual content. Now, you might be asking, why would I want to do that? Because if you have visuals on your blog post, then people hang around for longer and they're more likely to share it. And also, blog posts that have visuals in them convert better than blog posts that don't. So it's well worth taking the time to add visual content to your blogs. Now let's head over and make that infographic. The first thing we want to do is go to canva.com. This is my go-to software for doing any graphic design. Now before we get started, I just want to touch on why you might want to have infographics in your website. You could use an infographic as a summary of your blog post, which is what we're going to do in this video. You can also use somebody else's infographic as the basis for your blog post. So somebody else has created an infographic and then you put it in your blog post, and then you create information and your opinions around what's already in the infographic. And the other way is for you to have written a blog post yourself and use the infographic to support what it is that you've already spoken about. So like I said, today we're actually going to take a blog post and then we're going to create a summary of it. So in the front part here, you just want to type in infographic, and then you're going to have all the template options come up that you can use. Now, depending if you have the free version of Canva or Canva Pro, there's going to be a different number of templates that you get in here. But either version, you are definitely going to get a number of templates. Now, if you want to think in advance about doing an infographic for your blog post, the easiest way to do them is if you have a blog post that has a certain number of key points, or it has some main ideas that you can pull out into your infographic. For this, we're going to use a blog post from Cindy Badar, and basically if we have a look, she's broken this down into 5 different ways that you can use funnels if you're a service-based business. So this is a good basis of a blog post that we can use, because then we can just pull out these key points and make our infographic with it. So if we go back over here, we can start to have a look at the infographics that we have. Now I might want to, because it's 5 steps, it's going to be a lot easier if I can already find one that has 5 steps. So this one here, see, if we use it, it has 4 steps, and so it's going to be harder for us to then be able to put our content in, because we're going to have to reformat it. And then if we look at this one, it's a nice one as well, but then we have that problem also. And then if we scroll down, there are all these different types of ones. See, we could use this one. This has 5 here, so this would be a really great one to use. This one has 5. Then choose however many steps you have, and then you can use that as the basis for your infographic. So I quite like this one, but I'd like one with a little bit more color to it. So I'm actually going to use this one, and we're going to use this template to create our infographic. Now I'm going to show you as well a little trick that you can do if you have the free version of Canva, because what we want to do is get our brand colors into our infographic. And so what we can do here is we're going to create, pop in an element here, and then depending on how many brand colors you've got, like if I look over at Cindy's, her main brand colors, we're going to use these colors that are in the leaf here. So we come back, I just want to choose one of these that has 3 in it. I'm just simply going to pop this in, and I'm going to make it smaller. Because what I want to have happen, when we have our own, when you have the Pro version, you can easily create a brand palette for yourself. And when I go in here, it's going to show you, it's already, see how it's pulled the colors from in here. What I wanted to do is also pull my brand colors. So I'm going to go up here, and then I've got this little thing called Colorzilla. and it picks the color off the page. So I can hover over the ones so I get the color I want. I want this one, and then it's automatically copied to the clipboard. And then when I come back in here, these you can pull images into, but you can also just make them a particular color. So we're going to add here now that hex code and add that in as our color here. And you can see now when I open this up, it's pulled that color in. So I'm just going to grab the other two colors for us. And now you can see that I've got the 3 brand colors I wanted. And then if I click up here, we can also see that those brand colors are now up here for us to be able to use as well. So this is a great little tool if you don't have Canva Pro, or if you just want to have a palette for a particular project. Now I think we're going to take this color and turn it into that nice color that Cindy has. So I'm going to click up here, and then I can just click on this color. If you scroll down the bottom, you can also change all of those at the same time. So now you can see I've clicked on this, and now all of these are changed to the same thing. Now what I'm going to do is go back over here and grab her words. So I'm going to, the first one is clients on demand. So I can just copy that and go back in here, and then I'm going to just simply delete that out and paste hers in. Now I want to get this one done first, because then I can copy all of the formatting into the other areas. So then I'm going to come back and read over this and choose a small part of this, or a sentence, that I'm going to then put onto my infographic. For now, I'm going to take this last sentence here. I'm going to go back over and I'm going to put it in. And then I'm going to format this so it looks exactly how I'd like it to. Now, I don't know exactly what fonts she uses, so I'm just going to choose fonts. And now, see that I've got this one at the size that I want. I'm just going to copy that into all of them. So I'm actually going to delete the ones that we have here. And then I'm going to copy and paste that one in. So you can press copy up here. So we need 4 of them. And then I'm just going to drag it down into the places that we need it. And so we know now that the fonts and everything are going to be exactly the same. And then you can just get everything lined up how you want it. So then you just go through the process. So I'm going to go back over here to the next one, the ability to scale quickly, and then paste that in. Now what you will notice is that this is grouped together. Now to be able to get it exactly how you want, you might want to ungroup it to be able to play with it and then group it back together again. So I'm going to go through and just get the information for these, and then we'll come back. Having read all the points in the email, I'm not going to actually copy and paste text from the blog post, which I normally would. I'm just going to type a little bit of information in based on what the content said. Now that we've got all of our sub points in there as well, I just make sure they're all lined up. Now, if you can't get it exactly where you want it to be, you can click on it and use the arrow keys, and the arrow keys will help it move around for you. Now we're going to add the title in. So we go back up here, we can grab the title. Sometimes it's easier to just type it. You can, depending on what you can grab and what you can't grab. So we're going to just add this in here. Put our S on the end. And then you just change the font to be whatever it is that you want it to be. Again, they're grouped. You can ungroup those so you can just work on one. Now, I don't really like that font, so I'm going to play around and find a font that I like. Okay, I'm going to use this one for now. Of course, if it was your own blog post, use your own font from your brand. Right, the untapped power of funnels for service-based businesses. Actually, I'm not going to use the subheading, so we just delete that out. We can make this a bit bigger in that space. Right, we're going to delete what's up in there. You could just leave that bit blank if you like. And then down the bottom here, I'm going to delete this as well. And what I'm going to do down here is I'm going to put in my website address. So I'll just add that in here. And then in this space here, I'm actually going to write about, for them to come and read more at the blog post about it. Right, and I want that font to be the same as this one actually. And again, the fonts that you're using will be at the top, so you can always easily find them up there. Okay, the next thing I want to do is change these icons out here. So what you want to do is come over here to elements. You can type in like clients or something like that, and it will bring up a range of things that you could put in here. Or if you don't type anything in, you can actually scroll down and you can have a look at and open out. These are all the icons, the ones that we kind of just looked at. But if you go down below that, you've got like social media, web and SEO. So if you have a look through these, you should be able to find ones that are going to fit in with what you're doing for your infographic. And while I think of it, before we move on, some of these you can change the color of them. So see, when I click on this, I can change the color of these, so I could change them to my own brand colors if I wanted to do that. So just keep that in mind when you're finding one. So if I get rid of that and just say I want to add this one in, see how there's the option up there to be able to change the color. So I could have this, the color, one of Cindy's brand colors. So I could choose this one, and then it's great because then it matches your brand. Now, not all of them can you do that with. So as you pull them out, have a look. You'll know up the top here if you can change the colors or not. And sometimes it's quite hard to find an exact image of what you want. So it's sometimes it's just a bit of a best fit. Unless you want something really particular, you can go and search somewhere else on the web for it and just upload it into here. Okay, so I put the icons in. I'm not really loving the money one, but I couldn't find another one I liked right now, so we'll use that for now. And then as I look through this, I actually really quite like it. The only thing I'm not liking is that. So if we make it a bit smaller, although it looks perfectly fine, but what I might play around with was actually putting a photo at the back. Like if we took this image that Cindy has here, we could use something like that. So I'm just going to look just to show us, because I don't have that actual image she has. But maybe if we just put something down the bottom there, just to take up some of that white space, because what I don't want to do is then move all of that stuff down. And it might end up that this actually looks awful and we don't use it. Because anything with graphics, it's just giving it a go and seeing if we like it. If we don't like it, then we don't use it. So I'm just going to change take the transparency down a bit. And then, but I don't think it fits in with what we're doing because like infographics, I don't usually have images on there. So you could put that on there or you could leave it off. It's completely up to you. Or you could write something else down the bottom there. So I'm just going to undo all of that to get it back to how we had it originally. So we could just leave it like that, or you could put like another couple of little icons down there if you wanted to take up that space. It's completely up to you. But there's your infographic there. I'll make it bigger and then I'll scroll so you could see it. So literally we've got the title, we've just had the headings from each of the sections that she had. We wrote a little bit underneath it. And there you go. And then you could just use that wherever you wanted, at the bottom of your blog post or somewhere in your blog post. So I think that looks pretty good. Let me know if you have any questions about anything and I will happily answer them. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe and ting the bell so you know when I upload new videos. And of course, a thumbs up never goes astray.